My name's Deirdre Morgan. I'm a palliative care occupational therapist and I'm going to talk today about a palliative care telehealth project. Palliative care patients living in the community don't get the same access to continuous monitoring and management of their symptoms as patients in inpatient settings do. But we also know that palliative care patients want to live at home for as long as possible. So how do we support them to do that? This study wanted to understand two key things. It wanted to understand whether people with palliative care needs were willing and able to participate in a project where they reported their symptoms and their function remotely via an iPad, and whether that was of benefit or burden to both the patients and the carers, and we wanted to understand why or why not. We found out that people on the whole were willing and able to use the iPad, and people's reluctance not to use it was linked more to their experience and that willingness rather than age or diagnosis. So some people thought older people would not want to use an iPad, and that actually wasn't true. We also found out that timing was really important, and I call that the Goldilocks principle. If we gave people an iPad to self-report their symptoms when they were relatively well, we found that they reported they didn't get a lot of benefit because they didn't need a lot of change in care. If we gave people an iPad to self-report their symptoms and function when they were too unwell, they actually found it really onerous and just overwhelming, so they stopped. If we gave it to people at just the right time when they had symptoms that were changing, so they saw some benefit of the nurses responding to their care, but they weren't overwhelmed at that time, that they actually continued to use it even after their symptoms escalated and they became more unwell. So that timing was really critical. Patients also told us that using the iPad and the video capacity on the iPad actually augmented their care with the community palliative care team. It didn't replace it, but it enhanced it, and for them that was important. In particular with a video case conference with the GP. So we had the GP in their surgery, the patient at home, and the community nurse in the community palliative care office. And we were able to have a three-way conversation using the iPad, making them feel more valued as a person and not just a number. They also really valued the opportunity to be able to show the GP what was happening to their body. So while they said it was very much like seeing somebody in person without seeing him in person. So they could actually pick up the iPad and show them that a lump had grown on their body or something had changed with a wound, and the doctor was then able to confer with the nurse and actually change medications to change their treatment. And that was very, very significant, and significant because for a patient to have to get up, get out, get in the car and travel to a GP surgery was very burdensome. It was burdensome in terms of time, so it took them a long time. It made their symptoms worse, so it could trigger pain, it could trigger fatigue, and the other thing was really important, that it saved them money. And that was particularly important for people who were either on the pension or had been working but were now no longer able to work. So it was petrol, parking fees, all that kind of stuff. So the capacity to have that case conference via an iPad was really, really critical. So as you can see, there are a lot of benefits for patients and for the treating teams and for the GPs in using a telehealth option for palliative care. So this study was the first of its kind in Australia and a really exciting area for future research. If you'd like any more information about the study, please contact either Jennifer Tiemann from Flinders Palliative Care or Kate Swettenham from SA Health.